Hello. 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 Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. We got a packed crowd. We got quite a few standing. Could we take a few minutes and move to the center if we can? If you have some safe seats, I think we have almost as many people standing as we do have seating. So if people can just, if they haven't come yet, let's move together so we can all fit in this room. Appreciate that. Did you guys have a good morning? How about last night? How was that recognition? Was that cool or what? Like, that has to be one of the longest red carpet experiences that you can have. Those Blue Diamonds and Team Elites really had a great time. All right, we're gonna kick this off. We're gonna get right into gear here. This session is called the Discover the Best You section. And it's all about discovering the best you. And if you had a chance to watch that video presentation, it talked about when you help others discover their best you, you discover your best you, and that's what Nu Skin's all about. And so we're going to look at discovering the best you and discovering your team's best you through our products today. And we have a power pack session. Hey, thanks for bringing it down. That was kind of nice. Glad you guys are here. We have a power pack session today. We're going to start off with Joe Chang. We're going to have Steve Wood share as well. Eric, the trainer, is going to be here. We're going to hear about ageLOC Me from Kevin Fuller, essential oils and the new offerings from Paul Cox, and then Jared Warburton is going to tell us about some new things. So I want you to keep your notes out because there are going to be tidbits and special things that I want you to think about when you just help your team discover their best you that you can take home. Because as we talk about some of the science and about some of the products, it's really about how we are changing people's lives and helping people become the best you. So let me get this session kicked off. We're going to turn the time over to Nu Skin's Chief Scientific Officer, Mr. Joe Chang.
Morning. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Good morning. Says, in case when Greg showed you all the photographs, the actual person that you see that's me is the one on the third one. If you don't remember, maybe Greg can reverse the slides and show the third person. Yeah. And you notice, of all the pictures, the only one in the lab coat is Dr. Steve Wood. He's the real scientist, okay? So listen to him, because when he talks to you, probably many of us won't understand all the technical terms, but it's okay. Well, it's great to see all of you here. You've been here since Thursday, and it's wonderful. I heard some of Truman's comments to you yesterday. He probably told you everything you want to know about the future, so I won't touch on the future products. Oh, I knew you were going to say. No, Truman is the blabbermouth, so it's okay. Anyway, so let me quickly get on to the presentation, and here we go. Many of you might know that I come from a company that I co-founded called Pharmanex, and I thought it might be useful and worthwhile for some of the new ones to hear where I came from, because like many of the new people who are coming to Nu Skin the first time, it was almost reminds me of where I was in 1998 when Nu Skin bought Pharmanex, because it was my first time exposure to this company called Nu Skin. And frankly, since Pharmanex, when we co-founded the company, together with a few of my colleagues, it was in Los Angeles, and frankly, I have no idea where Utah was. So, yeah, it's usually a state that we fly over. We never actually land in Utah. So when they told me that Pharmanex, eventually we are going to be acquired by Nu Skin, my first reaction was to consult the map and to find out where Provo was. Yeah, it's not a town that I usually come. In fact, I have no idea actually people live here. So, however, be that as it may, for many of you new people, you may have the first reaction to that. But as you can see, this is a wonderful place and lots of mountains, and it's really beautiful. And when we started Pharmanex in 1995, it was really based on a simple premise. We were all pharmaceutical scientists. In other words, we were scientists working in the drug industry. I was with a company called Wyeth, just to make sure when I talk about the drug industry, it's the legal drug industry. It's not the other kind of drugs. Although we might all move to Colorado, it might be actually something we could do. However, we live in Utah, we can't do that. So, and we all created a so-called R&D engine. And that's because really when we founded the company called Pharmanex, we wanted to make sure that we develop, instead of snake oil, we develop pharmaceutical grade and science-based types of products. But albeit all these ingredients are going to come from natural sources, but we still want to make sure what we are provided from nature is something that we can prove via the scientific method. In other words, to get data and do scientific studies on all these natural ingredients to make sure that the claims are scientifically founded and substantiated, but not really based on just some hearsay. And we have a lot of advisors and obviously in-house scientists as well to create this engine. So, and many of these clinical advisors are from universities. So they can provide to us a lot of objective assessment and opinions on what we do is the right way of doing it. So all this is really focusing on making sure that our supplements are clinically proven. And then Pharmanex, after 3 years in the mass market, in practically 38,000 stores across the country, a company called Nu Skin came and visited with us in 1998. And after several discussions, they decided it might be a good fit if Pharmanex become a member of the Nu Skin family. And that's what they did in 1998. And they bought the company for roughly that number, which is great because all that money went into investors' pockets. So, yeah, it's, and I still have to work for a living. So it's wonderful. So after, like all of you, yeah. Scientists have to eat too, you know, so yeah. So I'm still here after 18 years. It is wonderful because the reason why I give you this brief history of Pharmanex is really to make sure that you understand the reason why we continue to do what we do is because Nu Skin too believed, and major reason of acquiring Pharmanex is to bring this R&D engine into the skincare category and also into nutritional supplement space as well. And we continue to do that, and we continue to commit and invest significantly into the R&D projects and initiatives that we have in Nu Skin. And I believe Truman yesterday showed you a number. Cumulatively, we have invested more than $1.5 billion in scientific investments and R&D spending. So that's a big number. And I think Truman is absolutely right. I don't think you can find another company that has actually spent or invested or even has the ability to invest that amount of money into what we do. So we really do what we say and not just say what we say. And all these slogans that you hear, discovering the best you, they demonstrated, the difference demonstrated, and so on, while they're slogans, but it really, hopefully, it tells you what we do and rather than what we think we should be doing. So that's really why, personally, why I'm still here and committed to making sure that our products support your business opportunity to the best of our ability. So I won't spend too much time on youth. Obviously, this is an age-lock supplement that we launched over the last 6 months or so, especially here in the Americas. I'll leave that to Dr. Steve Wood, who really play a very important role in making sure that we have all the scientific studies to back up youth. So he'll go into all the scientific studies that we had conducted. And if you don't understand it, never mind, don't ask me, because I too don't understand it. Yeah, ask Dr. Steve Wood, okay? He's here too. I mean, that's why he still has a job. Yeah. So he hopefully will be able to understand it. So, because I really look to him for all the answers every time you ask me a question. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the history of Pharmanex, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective of why we do our science. And this motley crew that you see here, right? We have 75 scientists, and they all wear white lab coats. It's great because they're really scientists. And some companies do put their scientists in white lab coats as well. But then in the evening or on a Saturday like that, they change to a brown coat because they become janitors and sort of clean the whole building. Yeah. So it's very difficult to call those guys scientists, but because for them, they're moonlighting as scientists. We don't. These are full-time scientists. And the important thing to remember about the scientists, obviously, is the fact that they come from various scientific backgrounds. You know, I'm trained as a pharmacologist, and Dr. Steve Wood is trained as a food nutritionist, and even more importantly, he's a registered dietitian. So he's well trained in nutrition and so on, and he brings that set of skills into our product development. And you can see here we have other folks as well, both in the skincare side and in our nutrition side to make sure that our products, you know, benefit from a variety of inputs and not just from a chemist input. Because sometimes chemists feel that they're the most important scientists in the world, because I have a friend who thought being a chemist is the most intelligent thing you can do in college. I just sort of disabuse him of that fact because I couldn't do chemistry. So, but he thinks that since I couldn't do chemistry and did biology, I'm a bit more stupid than he is. But it's okay. Yeah. Life goes on, because if you can't do biology, you sort of become a doctor, so it's okay. However, so really, these 75 scientists are very important, and they play an absolute key role in what we do and how we develop our products. And while sometimes it could be boring, right? Science can be boring, because we use a lot of technical terms and we do a lot of sophisticated studies that nobody understands just to show how clever we are. But nonetheless, it's important, and it's the commitment. As I say, this proves what we do, what we say is actually what we do, and not just something that we dream up in the middle of the night. So in our products. And the way that we do our products is now totally focused and looking at the sources of aging. We don't do what the competitors do, and they still continue to do this because they're anti-aging products, if you will. They treat the signs or the symptoms of aging, right? It's a cosmetic. It's something that you cover up those aging symptoms with the so-called putative anti-aging products. But instead, with the age-lock approach or the anti-aging science that we do, we drill very deep into the sources of aging. And obviously, over the last 4 to 5 years, our focus has been on the genetic sources of aging. You know, we've our collaboration with LifeGen and so on, it has produced a lot of knowledge in terms of how to identify these age-related genes and how to stop them, or at least regulate and prevent them from misbehaving, if you will, functionally. So for all intents and purposes, by looking and be able to have control of these genetic sources of aging, we have a much better chance of actually addressing and giving you a meaningful anti-aging product. So fundamentally, at its core, it is about addressing sources of aging with the age-lock approach. And this is because of this anti-aging genetic database. You know, the business folks talk about big data analysis and so on, and the value of Facebook, the value of Google, and the value of Instagram and so on is really based and predicated on their ability to create this kind of big data in their world. For us in Nu Skin, our big data scientific asset is related to this genetic database. It's very important because knowledge and this database gives us the ability and the information that we can use to leverage and develop anti-aging products. All right, and it is albeit something that you cannot touch or feel, but it's an important asset in the company, and we continue to grow this database. So we'll never run out of ideas or options to develop future anti-aging products. Because really, if anything else, right, we want to make sure that Truman doesn't become a liar to you when he talks to you about future anti-aging products. Because the future, as Truman has mentioned to you, is about innovation. Innovation is our middle name, or part of the Nu Skin DNA. And we can continue to innovate because of this gene expression database. And as you can see, and once again, I'll just add some color to what Truman mentioned yesterday, is that we have produced this portfolio of anti-aging products for the last 4 to 5 years now, and each and every one of them is approaching close to, at least $100 million or more in terms of revenue for the company. And we continue to make sure that this ageLOC brand and concept is very meaningful to your business opportunity. Now, let's talk a little bit about me, because afterwards you're going to hear Kevin, my marketing colleague, who's going to come up and talk about this particular device and be able to explain to you why we are so excited and how we came about developing this particular personalized skincare system. It's wonderful. I mean, this is really the first of its kind in the world in this skincare industry. And we have invested a lot of money, and close to 35, if not more, millions of dollars, making sure that everything that we have put into this particular device and skincare system is something that's meaningful and be able to produce the final outcome, which is a personalized skincare regimen. So here's a brief video to sort of impress you, because this is really quite nice. Our AV department, has to do something meaningful as well. So this is their video. Yeah, it's wow, it's a very short one. It took. Yeah, it must be their lunch break, I think, when they produce this. Never mind. Moving on. So, here's the reason why we think a customized or a personalized skincare system is something that each and every one of you would like to have, including me. And that's because skin type varies from individual to individual. I think some are more visual than others and obvious. Obviously, an Asian skin type would be different from a Caucasian skin type. And then from those, and even among and within a particular ethnic group, there are significant differences that we can take into account with the ageLOC Me system. So those are the things that we considered. And primarily and ultimately what it had allowed us to do through the engineering side of things, on the formulation, and obviously living in the digital world, to provide you with an app that's easy to use, and from the answers that you provide through that app, then we can input those answers that you have given us, and to eventually have a set of 5 cartridges that is almost perfect for your skin type. Yeah? And from then on, I mean, it's sort of easy to insert the set of 5 cartridges in the device, and every morning you're going to get your morning regimen, and in the evening you will get a slightly different skincare regimen. And this is all done through this smart device. So it's a wonderful and easy, user-friendly way of applying skincare to your face. So it's this simple three-step system that can provide the customization that we expect from ageLOC Me. Right? And this is the next generation, no doubt. With this particular skincare, I'm particularly excited about this skincare because it took a lot, right, for us to able to produce this. And I think Kevin later on will even expound this a bit more, how we came about with this notion. Importantly, though, one of the sort of driving factors historically was the fact that our scientists continue to find ingredients that we couldn't put into a jar because these ingredients, while they're very extremely potent and active on the skin to keep it young, they degrade over time very quickly once it's exposed to the external environment, whether it's to the air, oxygen in the air, so it oxidizes, or exposed to UV light, where the UV light will degrade that ingredient as well. So it becomes difficult for us to include these ingredients in a product that we put into a jar, because as soon as you open the lid, that whole product is exposed and it starts to degrade. So we couldn't possibly do that in a one-size-fits-all type of jar system or even a tube. So what we did was to take these ingredients and sort of use it and say, and try to find an answer. How can we protect these ingredients until at the time of use? That was one of the features that we put into the ageLOC Me device. Because the cartridges, incredibly enough, they're vacuum packed. So we never had to expose it to the external environment, and it's only delivered and exposed to air, like I said, when it comes through the nozzle. So wonderful. And we can give you an even higher level of ingredients because the ability to optimize or to select your own cartridge, that option allows us to give you higher concentrations of active ingredients if you so desire. So that's a wonderful thing. And the combinations is nearly up to 2,000 possible combinations that you can get from the 32 cartridges. So many possible. And I think out of these 2,000, there's no way you can't find one particular combination that is absolutely perfect for you and just for you. And somebody else can choose another optimal combination just for her or him. And by the way, I mean, this is a unisex device system, and I'm hoping the males in our world, and in fact throughout the skincare industry, will find this device an easy thing to use, even in the bathroom. And it's wonderful. So for all intents and purposes, what we did, if you look at it at the highest level, is that you took all the possible ingredients and we put it, and you have created, or we have created for you, a personal skincare lab in your bathroom, all right? So you can become a sort of a formulator insofar as you can create a skincare regimen by you, just for you. So to me, it's pretty exciting, at least at that level. And I just want to show you, taking an X-ray perspective of the inside, because to the engineering geeks, they are more excited about the inside than the outside. The marketing guys are really interested on the outside because visually it's very attractive, but to the engineers who participated and contributed to the ageLOC Me project, they are more excited about the inside because the engineering, the mixing system that they have created and developed, essentially this is the only mixing system that can take into account all the different liquids and lotions of different viscosities and be able to mix it in such a way that it comes out as a single homogeneous lotion or cream. So it's never been done before, and this technology is obviously patented, and while you don't see it, it's magical. And the reason why it's magical is the fact that it's, in addition to giving you the most effective product, it's really about creating this so-called micro-layer droplet. You can't see it. It's a microscopic, multi-layered droplet that comes through the nozzle from the Me device. And this is an important, while you can't see it, the active ingredients are literally through the mixing action by the Me device are layered in such a way they're not all mixed up together. Yeah? So this is important because this maximizes or optimizes the absorption of each active ingredient into the skin in the most efficient manner. And just graphically, just to show you, the penetration of each active ingredient into the skin is delivered sequentially. In other words, one active ingredient at a time is delivered into the skin to act on the skin, and then the second layer does it. And the multi-layer technology allows us to do that. Now, if you look at the second picture, or the graphic, this one below, that's when you mix up all the active ingredients together into a gamish, all right? So when you do that, there is no multi-layer, and this is what happens. When you try to mix those active ingredients in the cartridges by hand, when you do that, it's so messed up that no way can we achieve the maximum benefit from each active ingredient. So mechanically, by hand, you can never ever produce this so-called multi-layer droplet. So scientifically, and that's why the engineers are so excited about the mixing system, because this is the only and the first one ever that a multi-layer droplet can be created. And that's the wonder and magic in ageLOC Me on the formulation side. And clinically, we have proven it. These are just some of the anti-aging clinical studies we have conducted with each of those combinations, and looking at luminosity, for example, whether the skin looked young, and so on. And over a period of just a month, you are seeing distinct and very significant differences in terms of how the skin looks young. So this is clinically proven. There's no doubt about it. And the mixing, once again, I think these kind of results we have never ever seen before in a product that we put into a jar. So ageLOC Me is truly a unique and, importantly, the most differentiated and the most effective product that we have ever produced in the skincare category. Okay. So, and we've tested it. This is one of our most tested product among consumers, because all the science in the world will come to naught if a consumer doesn't find this system attractive and appealing. So we've tested it close to 4,000 consumers. And each time the results that have come out from these kinds of surveys will tell me that more than 90% of the consumers find this one of the best skin product they have ever encountered. In fact, if you look at the second feedback that we had, asking them would they replace their current skincare products, over close to 95% of the surveyed consumers say, yeah, they're going to replace their current products with ageLOC Me. So it's a wonderful thing, at least from our side. And I think when you get it here, this is the future. So it's pretty cool, right? I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, just a few things, because some of our leaders really like to do things on April the 1st, which is roughly a month ago. There is no mini-me. So don't believe what you read on the internet, on your Facebook.
Come on, John, make us a mini-me.
Yeah. Some of you guys have seen, and all they did was to Photoshop this particular machine into a smaller unit. Yeah. However, they are partial, but it's no smoke without fire, right? So, yeah, we are working on, obviously, other product extension using this technology. So, and you will see over the next few years, there's something that will be coming out. But I'll leave that to Truman. He does love to tell you about the future. And we have that. So, this is what I have in me. And hopefully, this quick cursory at the highest level description of the ageLOC Me. I prep you all to be really excited when Kevin comes out to tell you about all the other things related to the ageLOC Me system. And then Steve will tell you about the science and the most recent scientific studies we have conducted with the youth. And I think you find that evidence pretty compelling as well. So thanks very much, and hopefully you have a great morning session. Thank you.
This is Nu Skin. This is the place that's created science-based premium anti-aging products for over 30 years. Back when you were wearing neon light-up sneakers. This is aging. This is a lot of aging. Aging is caused by tons of things, like this, and this, and this. This too. Yep. Double yep. Aging happens to the best of us. Luckily for you, Nu Skin has got your back. This is Joe Chang, CSO. Chief something or other.
Chief Scientific Officer, actually.
Joe hates aging. Joe and Nu Skin partner with LifeGen Technologies, a genomics company, which is a big sounding word that means they study your genes. This partnership is the perfect testing ground for Nu Skin's newest and most advanced youth-preserving product, ageLOC Youth. ageLOC Youth is for people who have bodies. Do you have a body? Good. It's important. Your body is aging, even if you're a baby.
That's true.
Joe helped combine over 30 years of anti-aging research from LifeGen Technologies, and then he set out to find ways to reset the body's gene expression to a more youthful profile. ageLOC Youth is advanced. How advanced is youth? Get ready for some sciencey words. Youth helps support your body's internal systems that protect you from aging, called your aging defense mechanisms. These deal with genes that are in every cell of your body, and there's around 37 trillion cells in your body.
A product that appears to turn back time, supports aging defense mechanisms and youthfulness? Even I'm impressed.
Wait, there's more. The blend of ageLOC Youth gene expression ingredients were only considered for the Youth blend if they passed all the ageLOC screening tests. This was Joe's guarantee that Youth was tested against the aging aggressors that your environment dishes out. Each of Youth's ingredients were selected based on unique benefits to provide us with remarkable results. How remarkable?
It's freaking amazing.
You tell him, Joe. ageLOC Youth ensures your whole body, cells, brain, metabolism, skin, bones, joints, eyes, physical performance, and immune system will thank you. It means supporting your DNA, your memory and cognition, heart and circulation, both lipid and glucose metabolism, and more. To this day, when customers see our anti-aging gene expression and nutrition science, they know it's backed by more than 30 years of research.
You already said that.
Just hitting it home, Joe. They'll know it's the latest in the science of how your genes express themselves. Not those genes. These genes. So what's next for Nu Skin?
Come on, I can't tell you that.
Well, Joe certainly isn't going anywhere. At 6 a.m., he gets up every day, eats, drinks, breathes, and thinks gene science.
That's true. I guess you can say sort of in my genes.
Good one, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Global Director of Research and Development, Dr. Steve Wood.
Thank you. That's very kind. I only see why they put the scientist in between Joe and a little bit of excitement, and glad to be here to talk about my favorite product called Youth. This is an exciting product, but I want to make sure that you're not trying to just memorize everything that I'm doing. I think part of the reason why I'm here is that I am one of these 75 scientists that Dr. Chang has talked about. We come from a variety of backgrounds. As I was thinking this morning, 30 years, that's a long time. Joe and I didn't fall off the turnip wagon yesterday, and many of you don't even know what turnips are. But we come from these variety of backgrounds, and when you think of Youth, this is the most advanced anti-aging product. And so we've drawn on many of our disciplines, and that's why there's strength and power by having many people coming from different disciplines, and I think Youth is an example of that. So as I talk of these 30 years of experience, the scientists that work on this product, as well as all of our products. I think you appreciate the innovation that goes in, as well as the results that we get from these products. I want to just start out, as Joe did, talking about what our scientific approach is, that we're going to the source of the problem. Many other companies look at these signs and symptoms and try to address those, where our approach is really to focus on the source of the problem, that then there's youth preservation benefits that occur as a result of that endeavor and trying to focus right there at the problem and how we fix that. And so with youth, it's going to be an adventure for you, but I just want to reiterate, it's just to give you confidence in terms of where we're going, what we're doing, and there's real science being conducted in the development of this product. This is the tagline, our most advanced anti-aging supplement ever. That's exciting. When we think of the many products that Nu Skin and Pharmanex have produced, this is the most advanced. It promotes your youth span, the years you can enjoy life, being more energetic and healthy. It's really about wellness. It's about this opportunity that we have to take control of our health and wellness. I'm going to go into some detail on aging defense mechanisms. How boring. But as you think about going to the source, it's really about our body's innate ability to ward off or to defend against aging aggressors. So we have this definition that aging defense mechanisms are the body's way of fighting off and maintaining resistance to aging aggressors. We used our age-lock science to select and test the blend of ingredients to support critical natural aging defenses and that make up our internal aging defense system. And if you could just think about this for a minute, when we go to the source, it's about this gene expression. It's the way that our genes are expressed that control these aging defense mechanisms. These mechanisms are defending against these aging aggressors, but we have this systemic preservation youth benefits that are associated with this. So it's really about gene expression, aging defense mechanisms, and then youth preservation benefits. So we're all, as in Joe's video, we saw all of these aging aggressors that are around us. We think of the sun, we think of pollution, we think of all of these other aggressors that are focused on us, and we recognize those, but we don't often think about these internal stressors, if you will. Toxins, debris, cellular metabolism that's actually accumulating within the body. And our aging defense mechanisms is the way that our body defends against these aging aggressors. And as we modify that gene expression through nutrition, then we're able to provide these youth preservation benefits as a result of that. I know that many times we think of all of the benefits of youth. Well, you need to start with the core. You need to start with the source. And the source of that is gene expression. And so as we talk about these aging defense mechanisms, it's really about these three areas that make this so exciting. First, that modulates age defense mechanisms resulting in youth preservation benefits. And I think that's all what we're after, aren't we? We're after this youth preservation benefit. But it's developed with proprietary gene expression science or these healthy aging insights. And then it's developed for these ingredients it's a proprietary blend. And I'll show you why it's important that it's a blend. I don't believe there's a magic bullet, that there's one ingredient, one compound. It's really about a blend. And I think that's the exciting thing about this youth product, is that it's a blend of ingredients, but it's even hard to obtain these through even a healthy diet. And that may sound odd coming from a registered dietitian of 29 years. I've been a registered dietitian. But as you see the science, you'll be impressed in terms of not only the science that goes into this, but the results that we're finding as a result of this product. So we talk about these aging defense mechanisms. We've just gone through the March Madness. What an exciting time. I think it's clear it's important now that we talk of April and what we're talking about youth. But can you imagine if those championship teams would have just simply said, the way we're going to defend is we're going to stop the guard from driving to the basket. If we only had all 5 players focused on that defense, if you will, they're not going to win this wellness game. And those who don't follow basketball, how about football? If all we said, okay, we need a really good goalie, it doesn't matter about the other individuals on the soccer team, you're not going to win many games. The game of wellness is important, and so that's why our bodies are equipped with all of these aging defense mechanisms and the way that we defend and maintain our health and wellness. And so we hear of many of these words, antioxidants, but it's also just not antioxidants, but it's the defense and the protection of these mechanisms. It's detoxification, stress responses, DNA protection and repair, tissue renewal, mechanisms regulating metabolism or regulating this inflammatory balance. So it's not just about one defense mechanism, and that's what's critical as you think about youth. It's about these aging defense mechanisms. We want them to function properly and do what they need to do in the face of all of these aging aggressors that are both external as well as internal to us. So I want to just give you a quick video. These are probably the words that Joe was describing when he said Dr. Wood will talk about all of these big words. But let's talk about inflammatory regulation or mechanisms regulating inflammatory balance. So let's just watch this video.
Regulation of inflammatory balance is one of the most important aging defense mechanisms because it helps repair and protect us from damage throughout the body. Here's how it works. When damage occurs, the body responds with a complex acute inflammatory response by recruiting the appropriate repair processes to the site of damage. At the first sign of damage, resident macrophages send out chemical messengers to recruit white blood cells, including neutrophils and monocytes. Monocytes are then activated and transformed into macrophages, joining neutrophils that have already arrived at the damaged tissue. The new macrophages then send out more chemical messengers, including cytokines and chemokines, to alert more white blood cells to participate in the inflammatory response. Collectively, this inflammatory process causes the blood vessels to enlarge and become more permeable, which allows the appropriate repair processes to proceed. This process represents one of several beneficial effects of the regulation of acute inflammatory balance in the body. Once the repair process is complete, the inflammatory response is turned off. However, if the inflammatory response lingers too long, does not turn off, or the system misfires, inflammation persists when it is not needed. This chronic, low-grade inflammation accelerates aging.
So hopefully that gives you an idea of these internal mechanisms and how if they're dysregulated or not controlled properly, they can actually accelerate aging. It's these aging aggressors that we're focused on. So just as sort of a summary of this area, gene expression controls these aging defense mechanisms that then help us with the systemic youthful preservation benefits. So if you think about this, when we talk about cellular health, there's lots of claims on this, but it's all going back to these mechanisms, these aging defense mechanisms. And we start to put this list together of all the benefits of age-lock youth. Most people start out with this and say, this product cannot do all of these things. We're saying if you're affecting the source, these aging defense mechanisms, all of these claims can be made, and we have very good scientific basis or evidence for each of these benefits. This is a great product. When you think about these benefits that are associated, these youth preservation benefits that are associated with this product. So I just want to give you some studies and then conclude with some of the research that we've conducted on youth. When we think of the benefits of these aging defense mechanisms, this is just one example that's in the literature where you use omega-3 fatty acid supplements for 4 months and then look at the ability or the stability of this DNA, these genes that we're talking about. It was shown that there was significant increase in the telomere length, which is a positive thing. We think about the brain, and we think of all the benefits to our brains, and I think most of us as we're aging, one of our greatest fears is that we lose our cognition, our ability to think clearly, or that we're able to have a health and wellness in our brains. And if we think of these age-lock ingredients, that there's several that we need to consider when we think of all of the mechanisms of what's going on in our brain, these aging defense mechanisms in the brain. So I just want to show you just one other clinical study where they looked at, these were healthy people. They were age 60 to 81, just followed them for 2 months and just looked at their cognition using one of the ingredients in the age-lock youth, and showed that there was a stability and maintenance of the benefits, particularly in the brain where the placebo group was actually declining, even though these were healthy individuals. So if you think about that, and we now shift to age-lock youth, and we've shown lots of examples of heat maps and gene expression and those examples of where we can detect differences. This happened to be a preclinical study. This is actual data where we looked at the difference in these gene expressions. Each of those columns, there's about 4,000 of those columns is a different gene, and we look at the pattern, what happens with aging. And so the red and the yellow, the red particularly means that these genes are upregulated. The blue color is meaning they're downregulated. Now, if we take the same age in these preclinical studies and then compare that to a group, you can see a dramatic shift that those genes that were upregulated with aging are actually going down, and those that were downregulated are actually coming up. So it's this balance. It's important to think about gene expression as this balance or modulation. Well, then the next question ought to be asked, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because these were the same age. And so we compared that to a model of, if you will, anti-aging or maintaining wellness, and we looked at the gene expression of that group. And you can see it's very similar. So all of these are the same age, but this positive control, if you will, was telling us this is a positive change and that there's benefits associated with that. So then we move forward. Just 2 weeks ago, Dr. Hester and I were at Experimental Biology, and I thought it was interesting that the name of Experimental Biology this year was called Transforming the Future Through Science. I think that's what we're doing here at Nu Skin. We're trying to transform the future through science. And so Dr. Hester and I were there to present on 2 clinical studies that we've done on age-lock youth in people, and to try to understand some of the benefits and also talk about these aging defense mechanisms. It was interesting to me to see some of the competitors that came up and said, you guys nailed it. This is awesome. And this is our competitor scientists that I thought that's somewhat is very supportive. But Dr. Hester and a postdoc from the UC Davis was presenting on age-lock youth, looking at the metabolites. So we gave age-lock youth to individuals. We looked at the metabolites in the blood, the urine, and also in the saliva. That helps us to understand how is it absorbed and what are the metabolites that are occurring. But it also helped us to understand why you need to take age-lock youth, and we recommend 2 capsules in the morning, 2 at night. So this is the data that was generated from that, and this study was actually selected as a finalist to be able to describe the advancement of science. And so not only are we saying it's important, but our colleagues and others in this industry are saying this is important. And this may seem like a simple study because we gave the product and then we looked at metabolites. What happens with these metabolites? You can see this is one metabolite. This was looking at it in the blood, but by 8 hours, it's back to baseline. So that's why you need to take it again in the evening. There were other metabolites that seemed to have different patterns, but it told us you need to take this product twice a day, and that's why it's recommended to take 2 capsules in the morning and 2 at night. Now to the other clinical study that I presented, and many people have seen this. Joe presented at convention, but for me, it's really trying to use a model that helps us to understand these aging defense mechanisms. So we took skin, we took individuals, we looked at how does their skin respond when there's damage that's occurring. And that's not just skin, but it's these aging defense mechanisms, if you will. So what we focused on was actually inducing a sunburn, but we gave different levels. We did 1 MED, 1 minimal erythema dose, meaning that it causes redness in the skin. Then we doubled that, and then we tripled that. And then we also looked at the numbers of cells. We took a skin biopsy to see how many dead cells were there. And then we fed the individuals. So these were in the same people. We fed them and then looked 8 weeks later, 2 months, which is really not that long when you think about nutritional products. So as we induced this injury, And you can see on outside of the injury that was induced, there was also redness or inflammation that was occurring. So then, as they took the product, we did the same thing 2 months later, and you can see it doesn't show up really well, but there's a dramatic change in terms of the amount of redness. But look at the average number of dead cells that were in that biopsy that we took. It was a dramatic decrease. This is just one example of one of the subjects. But what it told us is that we're really affecting these aging defense mechanisms, not just in the skin, but throughout the body. It just happened to be that the tissue that we selected was the skin to look at this. We also looked at scanner response. We wanted to see what's happening in the body in terms of response or what happens to the scanner score. And it went up about 10,000, which is very interesting that we see this dramatic change in such a short period of time. It's also signifying the importance of these anti-aging or these antioxidant defense mechanisms. So those are just two examples of the clinical studies that we've conducted and completed, and now we're focused on even further research and understanding that you'll be hearing about in the near future. But we selected these ingredients based on this proprietary gene expression research, and this blend of nutrients is, once again, it's a blend. It's important for us to understand why we selected the blend, but it's all about these aging defense mechanisms, to support these defense mechanisms that are innate within us, that change over time or affected by these aging aggressors. But you can't typically find this, and we looked retrospectively back to say, okay, now we've identified these ingredients. We looked at populations that were consuming many of these ingredients and saying, what is their health and wellness like? And we found that those populations that had this sort of this blend of, not this blend, but individual ingredients, were really receiving these health benefits or wellness benefits of taking these products. So it was, once again, another confirmation that we had selected a very unique blend of these ingredients. And we also think of the potency of these. Some of the ingredients were like naringin and hesperidin. And I don't know how many people eat the rind of oranges. The rind is very potent, if you will, in naringin and hesperidin. In the Mediterranean diet, we learn that there's some of these compounds that are found, and so we give the right dosage of these ingredients as we form this blend together. But it's my pleasure to talk about and explain, and hopefully you have a little better understanding in terms of aging defense mechanisms, how the product is put together, and then these health benefits, these wellness benefits that are associated, and that it's not just a product for old people. I think we think about aging when we're older because it's staring us in the mirror. But this is really a product for anyone. It's a foundational product to maintain these aging defense mechanisms, but that anyone can benefit from this ageLOC Youth. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. How about that, guys? All right. I think we all got every word of that, right? Should we recite it all back together? All right, we got aging defense mechanisms. We got that it works on all sorts of different parts of it. Multiple benefits. Probably one of the category's largest benefits type product. Amazing product, right? And it changes lives. Right now, we're going to hear from someone that has had this product change their life. So let me invite Jack Jong to the stage. You may have seen him before. We call Jack Six Pack Jack. Yeah, I don't know. You've probably seen him on social media. Jack, tell us about your experience with ageLOC Youth.
So for me, first of all, hopefully my picture has made you guys a lot of money. And for me, I obviously love the PharmaNex products, but ageLOC Youth, I've noticed three things. First of all, a lot of people have said my skin has gotten a lot better, so hashtag no makeup, right? And secondly is I've noticed my digestion is really good, so hashtag indoor plumbing good. And lastly, I've noticed that I've gotten a lot stronger. I've been off of TR90 for about 2 years now, but I've been working out lately using Eric the Trainer's videos, really good stuff. I've been engorging all the time. and I'm starting to get these Charlie Patterson muscles, the ones down here and the ones up here. And I usually try to do this test to see how strong I am. I try to do 100 push-ups within 3 minutes. Whoa. And yeah. And yesterday was actually the first time I did it under 2 minutes, so I noticed I'm getting stronger. So I'm really excited to see the benefits and can't wait to see what else you guys will bring up.
Awesome. How has it helped your team?
Yeah, especially like my mom, she talks to everybody about ageLOC Youth, and they're getting on it, they're having great results. Everybody on my team that's been on it just loves it, and I don't think they'll ever get off of it.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's hear it. Let's give a round of applause to Jack. Thanks, Jack. All right, we have one more person we want to hear from. Katrina Kong, Blue Diamond from Southern California.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with ageLOC Youth?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I think ageLOC Youth is like the best product I've had so far for me. I've traveled a lot, and I do a lot of road trips as well. And one of the specific moment or a specific story that I had was when I was flying to Australia for 14 hours. And before that flight, anything that's over 5 hours, I would get headaches. Half of my face would be frozen. I don't know if you guys have that experience before on the air. And I would have pain on my face. But after a month of ageLOC Youth, and I went on that trip to Australia, 14 hours was like nothing. It was like a walk in the park for me. I was able to sleep, and I was able to do work. So I think with the ageLOC, it helped me a lot with the energy level, and also was able to help me kind of endure the longer flights.
Awesome. How has it helped your team?
My team, I have a very young team, and they are on ageLOC Youth, and they do start to see the differences in their skin tone. A lot of the ladies in the team are not having to wear a lot of like makeup anymore. So no makeup, hashtag no makeup, and no filter, hashtag no filter, right? So now they love the products. But in terms of the business though, because they have the store and they believe in it so much, my team right now is driving like literally off the park with ageLOC Youth, because they are able to retell it, and it's so much simpler to go out there and tell a story, your own story. Even though it's so simple, my skin got brighter, my skin got smoother, and I was able to sleep more, my dreams are more vivid. Very simple stories like that, they're able to capture a lot of customers, and right now they're really building the team based on ageLOC Youth.
Awesome. Let's hear it. Let's give another round of applause to Katrina Kong. Has anybody else had a great experience with youth? Raise your hand. It changes lives, right? Great. Awesome. We have a lot more to cover here, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on stage, but we want to have a little fun. We have a friend of ours, a friend of Nu Skins, a friend that loves our Pharmanex products, and a guy with a little bit of muscle. Let me introduce and invite to the stage Eric Fleischman, or Eric the Trainer.
Good morning. Oh my goodness. I look around this room and now I see a lot of friends. I've been around here at Nu Skin, I guess, for a couple years, so now I look out and I see familiar faces. It's so great to see you all. And for those of you that wrote to me online and where we email back and forth, it's great to see you in person. Now, first of all, I want to congratulate the distributors in this room that woke up early enough to work out with me this morning. Who is there? Raise your hand. Who is there? Exactly, and we had a great time. Here's a question, though. Who wasn't there? All right, well, everyone get up. Come on, we have to move. We're doing this for you. Excellent. The first thing I want you to do is stretch. Can we have everyone stretch their arms straight up in the sky? It feels so good. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now bend your knees a little bit and slowly come down. Feel the nice stretch, the lower back, the gluteus maximus, the hamstrings, and slowly roll up. Roll those shoulders. Doesn't that feel good? Let's do it again. Come on, everyone up. Hands up. Woohoo! Looking good, looking good. Look around the room. There's a lot of beautiful faces in this room. Those are people that are the future of the world. And then bend the knees, come forward. Yes, reach forward. Tap your neighbor. He or she is a beautiful person. Slowly forward. Low, good. Come on up. Come on up, roll. I think we should do it one more time. What do you say? One more time? All right. Ow, ow. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. Slowly bend those knees. Come forward. Yes. We are feeling things we haven't felt in weeks. Ow, ow. And slowly up. Very nice. Now, for those of you that are sitting by a chair, I want you to stand like a duck. Don't eat any quackers, but you can stand like a duck. Come down, touch the chair, and come up. 1, yes, and 2. Count with me, please. 3, and 4, good, and 5, and 6, only 4 to go, and 7, awesome, and 8, 2 more, please, 9, and 10. Great job. Give yourself a hand. Ow, ow! Very nice. Very nice. Feel free to take a seat. Now, as a reminder, we are here this weekend for leadership. We're here to develop your leadership. What quality do great leaders have? Tell me. Great leaders have confidence, correct? If you agree with me, say yes. Do great leaders have confidence? Yes, they do. Now, how do we give you and your team confidence? We take care of what? Your body? Yes, we take care of your body, exactly. How do we take care of your body? How do we take you from the normal place you are now to an extraordinary place? A place where people look at you and say, what happened? Something happened. You look completely different. Do you want that? Do you really want that? Yes, you do. So the science of change is only 3 things. Some of you have heard me say this before. The science of change, to change you from normal to extraordinary, is only 3 things. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. The 3 things are exercise, diet, and sleep. Repeat after me. Exercise, diet, and sleep. Now, there's a lot of misinformation and false data out there about how to look and feel your best, but trust me, after 25 years of experience, it's those 3 things: exercise, diet, and sleep. We're going to talk about all 3 of those things. Exercise-wise, for those of you that woke up early this morning, you know exactly the kind of exercise we do. It gets your body going, it gets your heart going, which gets your circulation going, and it keeps you young. It stimulates your mind. Do you guys notice that after a great workout, your mind feels fantastic? Do you want to feel fantastic? Yes, you do, exactly. So exercising every day is important. Some people say, hey, I'm busy. I'll do it once a week, 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. I say you should do something active every day. Here's a question. Those of you in this room, as my witness, do you now vow to do something physical that's good for your body every day? Yes. Do you really promise? Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to get you exercise. Ow, ow. All right. Now, for those of you that want to exercise with me, there are videos on the Nu Skin site. If you go to the Nu Skin website and you click on TR90, which we're going to talk about in a second, it'll take you to a page where there's a picture of me. If you click on that, there are videos that you can follow. If you're not sure how to exercise, you can actually work out with me every single day. And many people in this room work out with me every single day, and my virtual self loves you. My virtual self talks about you all the time. So it's really nice to spend time with you. Exercise is so important. Diet is important. How many people here, and be honest, how many people here have had any kind of fast food in the past 2 weeks? Raise your hand and be honest. Everyone with their hand raised is in big trouble, because let me tell you, in order for you to feel your best, we need you to eat the right foods, healthy foods, not processed foods, not cheap foods. Nowadays, if you can believe it, it is possible for you to eat food where your stomach is full, but there are no nutrients. Do you know what I mean? And that's terrible. The world has changed. We need to change with the times. And so for you to eat healthy foods, organic foods, clean eating will make you look and feel your very best. My vote is to have you eat chicken breast, turkey breast, egg whites, and fish, lean protein sources, fresh fruits and vegetables. The darker the color, the better, because that means it's higher in antioxidants, and it literally will make you better looking, and lots of water. Is hydration important? Yes. Oh my goodness. What percentage of our bodies is made of water? Do you guys know? 72.3. It's crazy. Nearly 3/4 of our bodies are made of water, so we need you to drink water every day. How many people here have water with them? All right, take a sip right now. This is our official water break. Everyone take a sip of water. Do you guys realize every time you take a sip of water, I get a small royalty? Thank you very much for the small royalty. That was really nice. Exercise, diet, and sleep. Now, of those three, of exercise, of diet, and of sleep, what is the most important? Sleep. Why is sleep the most important? Sleep is the only time the body can change. Sleep is to the body what an oven is to cookie dough. If we have the world's greatest cookie dough made by Mrs. Fields right here, can I serve children cookies? No, I can't. I need to put it in the oven first. It changes into that flat, round dessert that little kids love, and then I can pass it off. Your body's the same way. Even if you worked out with me at my facility in Los Angeles, even if we had Wolfgang Puck make you the right foods, you still need to sleep to see the change. How many people here slept 8 hours? Ow, ow! You are my brothers and sisters. How many people here slept less than 6? Be honest. I'll be handing out pillows and blankets in the back after you guys leave, so maybe we should have a nap time. Do you guys want to have nap time? I think it'd be fun. Fantastic. Exercise, diet, and sleep. Now let's talk about TR90 for a second. How many people here have been on TR90? Fantastic. That's great to see. I would say, as a fitness professional with over 25 years of experience, that if I were in charge of TR90, I would flip the way that they're doing it now. Instead of having shake, shake dinner, which causes hunger throughout the day, and by the time you eat dinner, you're still hungry afterwards, even though you just ate, so you end up eating at night, which ends up around your waist the next day. I would suggest that for the new TR90, we wake up and we have festival of breakfast. We have the most elaborate omelets. We have the most delicious berries. We have an incredible breakfast that starts off our day healthy and satisfying. And then later in the day, we have shake, shake, and then we have something called a food curfew, where after 7 o'clock, no food. Because you know what that's gonna do? The next day when you wake up, your waist is gonna be small, your body will be sleek. We will see the changes that you're looking for if you can flip it over. So I want you to suggest to the new TR90 people in your group and the new people that are purchasing TR90, hey, let's try it. Let's try having a nice breakfast, maybe a small lunch, shake, shake, no food after 7. You're gonna see dramatic results. Does that sound okay? Excellent, because it's all about the result. Remember that I want all of you to take care of your bodies, to look your best, to feel your best, to exercise every day, to eat healthy food, because when you stand up here in front of all the people that are looking at you, wondering if they're gonna buy into the new skin lifestyle, wondering if the products really work, wondering if the business opportunity is good for them, I want them to look at you and say, I wanna be just like that person on stage. Does that sound good? Does it sound great? I like it. I like it very much. Now, for those of you that have questions, I'll be around all weekend long answering questions and taking care of you. And for those of you that don't get a chance to talk to me directly, feel free to find me online at Eric the Trainer on Facebook and at Twitter, and we can correspond that way. But I want you guys to know that it means so much to be here. I care about you so much, and it's great to be part of your family. Thank you guys so much.
There are billions of people in the world today. But of those billions, there is only one. Unique, original, and one of a kind. Every day, you speak to the world with what you do, how you look, what you say, how you dress. You tell the world, this is who I am. I am a complex individual with my own talents, likes, interests, dreams. I am unique. I do not and will not fit into a one-size-fits-all mold. I want to celebrate who I am, my individuality, and to express myself on my own terms, to be my personal best every day and at any age.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President of Opportunity Innovation, Kevin Fuller.
Hello, New Skin. All right. How's everybody doing? I didn't hear that. How's everybody doing? Now that one I heard. So this morning was an interesting morning for me. So I train a lot, so I did a bike ride first, and then we came in here and I met Eric the trainer for the first time yesterday. Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah. So he invited us to work out with him this morning. And so Ryan and I and Elizabeth and a few others were up there with him this morning, and it was a fantastic workout, but a couple things happened. One, so I'm presenting right now. This isn't even my suit. I didn't fit into my suit. This is somebody else's suit. I had to borrow one because I didn't fit in my old suit anymore. And then I might have to have somebody help me push the forward button to advance my slides. It's a little bit hard. No, it was great stuff. So, I am so excited to be able to talk to you about something that I've been working on for years and years, and not just me. I represent the work of dozens and even hundreds of people who have created something more unique than anything that I've ever been involved with, and arguably the most unique product that Nu Skin has ever created. And finally, we get to talk about it here in the US. Right? So you guys started with ageLOC Youth, which is also something that I've worked on. So you may not understand who I am or what I do, so my role's kind of changing too. So I used to be over product marketing, so working with Joe's team together to do the product marketing side of the science side to create the products that Nu Skin brings to market. So my new role is opportunity innovation, which is all things innovation designed to grow and make more compelling the opportunity, the global business opportunity for our distributors everywhere, to enable them to be the best, to accomplish whatever it is that they want to accomplish with the Nu Skin business. And ageLOC Me is just an example, and it's not always product, right? It's not just about product. The way that our compensation plan is structured, the way that our culture creates new fans of Nu Skin and welcomes them into the family, those are all aspects of what we feel like the opportunity to be a part of Nu Skin is all about. So I couldn't be happier than to be here today and talk to you, give you a little bit more in-depth understanding of what ageLOC Me is and how it came to life, and hopefully get you a little bit excited about it. So, we all know that every so often there are times when the world seems to stop and the next day it's different. I mean, radically different. So let me give you an example that everyone's familiar with. And this is going back a few years, but not too many years ago. We all used to have cell phones and laptops, right? And we were amazed at the increases in productivity that these two tools created in our lives. Whatever it was that we were doing, whether we were working at a standard job or doing a Nu Skin business, these things enabled us to do things better, faster, and more effectively and reach more people, right? So during this time, the cell phone companies were thinking about the next great cell phone, and the computer companies were thinking about the next great computer. But there was another company that was thinking about something else entirely, and that was how to take some aspects of existing technologies and bring them together in new ways that had never been thunk before. And the result is something like this, which combines the best of both worlds, one device, unlimited apps that can be created and held in your hand. And I think you'll all agree that the world hasn't been the same ever since. I think the last statistics I saw was that about 80% of the world's homes will have a smartphone in the next 5 years. That includes Africa, India, places where you wouldn't think people have smartphones. And it's not uncommon to see a homeless person, for example, talking on a cell phone, which is a little bit odd. But anyway, it enters into every aspect of our lives. So there was a time a few years ago in our history when a few of us got together and started thinking about how we could change the world. And it wasn't an idea for the next product, right? We wanted to recreate an experience. We didn't want to play it safe. We didn't want to say, let's just evolve. We wanted to create a revolution. And what it ended up being was really the most ambitious product development initiative that Nu Skin had ever undertaken. And there really was a little room in Santa Monica, And Joe was there, and I was there, and Elizabeth was there, and a few others of the real creative marketing folks to bring about this idea, and it began just as an idea. So the idea took shape around 4 global consumer trends that are very powerful and aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm sure that you're all familiar with these. This one, everybody in this room should be familiar with, the desire of people to not age ever again. And the willingness to pay money to make that happen, to stop aging in its tracks. So this is a global phenomenon. It's not just here in the US, and nobody likes to get old. And by the way, the definition of old is changing. People used to start thinking about these ideas in their 40s and 50s, and now it's their 20s and 30s. So this is an idea that is with us for the long haul. So that's trend number 1. Trend number 2 is we don't like what everybody else has. We want to have our own thing. We want to have something that's perfectly fit and customized to us, just the way we like it. And when we get that, it's this intangible feeling of confidence and excitement when you have something that's fit just to you and tailored just to you the way you want it. We all love customization. Beyond that, customization can sometimes be a two-edged sword, right? If it makes it more complex or difficult or more expensive for me to have something customized, that doesn't work, okay? It's got to be faster, easier, and customized to me. So that's why sometimes in a situation where people are looking for something just for them, they have to seek out expertise and guidance in order to help them navigate through thousands of different choices of whatever product it is that they're seeking. And in the process, this can be confusing. You get analysis paralysis, frustration. In the end, sometimes you're just not confident. Although you've got something very customized, you're not sure whether or not it's really accurately customized to you. So this idea of expertise to help guide us through the customization process and the simplicity of that process is really key to customization. It just can't be customization alone. Okay, this is probably familiar to all of us. We're incredibly busy. We do 8 things at once, and we kind of like it that way. We get addicted to that, right? And so, once again, if customization is difficult or inconvenient, then it's not, in my opinion, true customization. It's just one more garden I have to weed, one more thing I have to do. And so it has to be simple and easy and intuitive as much as possible. So, just to go back over these trends, so we have smart technologies that are in every aspect of our lives. We have the idea of customization. Everybody wants exactly the right thing for them. Anti-aging, have to have anti-aging. And then we have to have that easy button, right? It has to be simple and intuitive for me to do. I don't need more complexity in my life. None of us do. Now, on top of these 4 trends, there was another opportunity that we recognized. And this opportunity is really interesting because if you think about it, the basic experience of using skincare products really hasn't changed for dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. I'm sure Cleopatra took things out of jars and put them on her face. So that basic experience of opening a jar or a bottle, putting something on your face, and then putting it away, that basic experience is the same. No one's improved upon that experience. The bottles might look different today, the jars might look different, but the experience is basically the same. It's old, it's tired. And we knew that it was perfect and just primed for a reinvention and a reimagination. And so this idea, combined with those 4 consumer trends, is really the powerful confluence of things that created the idea of ageLOC Me. So, oh, look at that. That's a very active, colorful person. The best part is I don't think he's here today to defend himself. This is what Scott does when you guys aren't around. So we wanted to not constrain our thinking by things as they were. We wanted to make sure that we were thinking, to use the cliche, thinking out of the box and thinking of ways that things could be different and ways that skincare could really be for me, just for me. We knew that to do this, we would have to use, just like Apple did, some combination of existing technologies, but also we knew that we were going to have to create some new technologies that didn't exist. And I'll explain more about that later. The ritual of using skincare products is actually one of the most appealing parts, and you may not think about it, but if you think about the way a skincare product feels, the way it makes you look, maybe the fragrance, all of those things together are this experiential stew that becomes this wonderful ritual. We all have experienced a product that maybe we use regularly and we go out of stock, we don't have it, we can't get it, or we go travel or whatever, and we come back and we experience that thing again, and it's like coming back to an old friend. That's because it's become a ritual in our lives. And we wanted to create a new type of ritual, something that was far more personal, far more intuitive, convenient, and just new than anything we'd ever done. Many times, people that are used to using products in a particular way can't imagine doing it in any other way. But we wanted to reimagine this idea and this process. So we wanted to create something that none of you had ever seen, felt, or imagined when it came to using anti-aging skincare products. So let's talk about the concept a little bit. This is an actual image of some of the original sketch work, working meetings when the concept began to come to life. We say started with a blank sheet of paper, but what we actually did, there were blank sheets of paper, and we had great sketch artists. We had a fantastic industrial design partner. And once again, we were not setting out to create the next product, we were setting out to create the next experience, to truly reinvent the way that we use these types of products. So let me share with you a couple of the early sketches. People like to see these, they're interesting. Some of the ideas that we began with, right? All of these would have been fun to pursue. There were favorites. Everybody had their favorite in terms of what we wanted to accomplish. In the end, we chose something that was reminiscent of an archway. Classic, timeless, stability and strength. And what's interesting about an archway is it's transformational. You move through an archway and you're in a different place than you were before. So this idea really helps to communicate and connote a lot of the benefits and the core primal ideas associated with the concept. So this was our favorite. These are just some design boards that helped us to envision the type of materials, shapes, lines, colors, and other things that we wanted to be part of the final design. So you can see very clean, but with some sharp edges and yet lots of curves, some organic forms, things that were transformational, and certainly advanced. So this was the honeymoon phase of the project. And then we realized what we'd put our foot in and how challenging it was going to be to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. So we weren't just going to replace certain things, but we actually had to improve upon them. So if you think about it, today's packages, we talked about that already. We need to improve upon the standard bottle and jar that we're all familiar with. We needed to somehow replace these expert consultants that people go to when they're confused by all the choices out there and trying to figure out which product is right for them, which one's right for their skin, which one is right for their lifestyle, their environment, and even their needs, and even some of their preferences, right? It's this mix of needs and wants that get us to this place where we really feel like we have something customized. So clearly there are a bazillion different anti-aging formulas on the market. We had to improve upon all of those and create products that were going to deliver the best possible results. Because at the end of the day, if the experience is improved, but the product doesn't deliver, that obviously is a failure. So we needed to create great formulas. And then finally, we needed to figure out a way to replace the human hand, actively getting stuff out of packages, which turned out to be very challenging, but fun. So just to give you a feel for the complexity behind this elegant solution, I broke it down into 15 project areas. There'll be a quiz on this later, so make sure and memorize these. All of these were tackled by cross-functional teams, by partners, supply chain partners along together with us as well. Global, we were all over the place finding the best people and the best technologies to bring this to life. So all the way from ideation, creating the right user interface, durability, lifecycle testing, obviously Joe's and Helen's teams working on the formulas, bringing new technology to bear for age-lock formulations, epigenetic technology in these formulas for the first time, all kinds of work. So there were three main phases. There was the formulations themselves, there was the device, and then there was obviously the assessment app that goes with it and ties it all together. So those are the three main pillars of ageLOC Me. And just to give you a little bit more detail, so this is just one page of the schematics for the user interface. I think there were 40 pages like this, or 50. And it shows you how we map out every single step in the user journey in every possible combination in order to make sure that it's the right one. And yeah, so there'll be a quiz on this as well. Just quantifying the project a little bit for you. You can see the way this scaled out and was accomplished by these teams all over the world. So 50 working years, about $35 million, new patents pending. Those are actually patents issued now, by the way, and total ageLOC patents, 27. Yeah, so you can be confident that we have technology that no one else has. That's what makes our opportunity strong, is you can say to someone, you can't get this anywhere else. So we've talked about the complexity, right? But obviously, we don't want to sell complexity. We want to sell simplicity. And we want to sell an intuitive solution to a problem that you may not have even thought of before. And so to do that, all the parts have to come together in this perfectly integrated, holistic solution that feels just effortless. And that's what my friend Aristotle here was talking about when he was thinking about ageLOC Me all those years ago. And so here is the result. Smart, simple, customized anti-aging skincare delivered in a way that has never been seen before. And the idea is that you just simply walk up to the device and it knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and delivers to you the perfect type of product just for you. So that we talked about the experience of using skincare. So this is like your own skincare lab on your vanity, right? It creates and mixes the product for you as you need it at the point of use. This actually enables us to create greater number of combinations and more complex formulations than we otherwise would be able to do. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the formulations themselves and the perfect dose every time at the right time. So I think you may be familiar with these by now. So clearly automatic day and night regimen dispense. It knows what time it is and it tracks that, and it knows, it actually can learn. So it actually learns approximately when you use the device each night, and if you haven't used it, it'll give you just a brief little pulse and remind you that you haven't used your regimen. And then you can go ahead and use it so you don't miss, which is actually important when you think about your consumers and your prospects. The more consistent they are with these great products, the better results they have. They become a product of the product, and they begin to catch the vision and the power of what we're talking about here. If it's in a bottle, in a jar, in a drawer, the likelihood that they'll skip and misuses is actually quite high. You'd be surprised how many people use a skincare product consistently every single day in a month. It's extraordinarily low. However, this helps with that, right? So you get greater consistency of use, greater results you can see in the mirror, faster results you can see in the mirror, and down the road we go. So it tracks the use, right? So these cartridges drop into the device, and when the device knows when they're new, and then it will count the number of doses that it's dispensed for you. So you always know how many are remaining, and you can reorder when you need to. There is a travel mode with containers, so you can dispense into the travel container and then take it with you for trips. And there's a lock mode, so you don't dispense something in your backpack or your suitcase or something by accident, okay? So the formulations themselves, these are, and I don't know how much Joe touched on this earlier, but these are the most advanced ageLOC formulations we've ever created. So it's the culmination of all the work that his teams have done over the years. And in fact, there's actually elements of some of our most popular skincare systems. It's like the greatest hits of Nu Skin with additional new technology that we've never used before. So there's a little bit of 180, there's a little bit of triphasic white, there's a little bit of other things in there. And then in addition to that, all the fantastic ageLOC formulations. So it really enables us to be all things to all people and in the most effective way. Now, that last point, delivering ingredients and formulations together. So the three super serum cartridges actually blend together, they dispense together at the moment of use. And what that does is it allows us to create a more potent serum. So in other words, we couldn't put in a single bottle all the ingredients that are in the 3 separate cartridges, right? We have to separate them out. There's no way it wouldn't blow up, but it wouldn't be a stable formula, okay? So the fact that we break those apart, we allow them to specialize in certain aspects, we can have them be full horsepower on their particular focus and enable you to have in one serum, in one dose, at one moment, the equivalent of 3 very powerful serums. So in reality, it's like you're getting 5 products and you only have to use it once in the morning and once at night. So the other thing, remember we talked about when people go to a department store or online or whatever, they're trying to find these products, they're confused, there's all these different elements of these products that they try to balance and try to find the right thing for them. The problem with that is you have no guarantees that the products you end up choosing are, in fact, they aren't designed to be used together. Particularly because what most men and women do is they actually cherry pick their favorite product from different brands. And it's clear that those products weren't meant or designed to be layered on top of each other. But in the case of ageLOC Me, they certainly were, and they were tested together to make sure that they're, first of all, safe, obviously, but second of all, that they have this synergistic quality and they work together and they complement one another very well. So that's part of ageLOC Me, is this confidence that not only do I have the right products for me, but that I'm confident that they're going to be safe and effective and work together nicely and not conflict or react with one another. So lots of different formulations. Obviously, it's amazing as we started testing this, we found how many differences people wanted in their skincare regimen. We knew that people would want different things, but we were pretty amazed by the breadth of those differences. For example, when we tested the assessment algorithm early on, it was a small test. So it was like 1,700 people worldwide, and they were going through the assessment app. And what came out of those 1,700 people was almost 500 different regimen combinations. And no one regimen was more common than 5% of that total. So just this huge distribution of all these different needs and wants and preferences really started to drive home the validity of the concept. It was great. So these are all the different ways that you can customize, all the different ways the formulas differ from one another. Just a quick shot of the patents, an eye chart for you there in case you haven't seen the eye doctor in a while. Oh, so really? You want to? It's not going to show up on your camera. All right. So, okay. That could be like Latin, or it could be like a Disney song or something. You never know. It's the heading. Okay. All right. Good enough. Yeah, pretty cool. Both design and use patents should prevent our competitors from doing anything similar for a long time. Yep. So here's the list, a long list of all the different benefits that you'll see in your skin. And I can tell you, I mean, I've used Transformation and all of our products several times, but this is the best overall skincare system that I've ever used at Nu Skin. And I'm 72. No. I'm 46, but I use this every day, and I also use TFEU, of course, ageLOC TFEU, and those two things together are phenomenal. So you can expect improvements in your skin, and in short order as well. So it's speed to benefit as well as breadth of benefits. So the optimization process, we agonized over this because we wanted to make sure that we were not placing a burden on the distributor for them to be babysitting new prospects and walking them through their customization process. So this was designed for you, business builders and business leaders and owners, so that you would be freed up to do what you do best. The idea is that it's so intuitive and easy that in about 5 minutes, anyone, without your help, can go on and find exactly what they need. And at the end of the process, they get this customized regimen code out, as it shows there. And they can also get a little bit more information about what they, so those little eyes right there, I don't think this laser works, but the little eyes, they can touch those, and then it will give them more information about the formulas that they've been assigned. Okay? So this was developed in conjunction with a board-certified dermatologist on our anti-aging advisory board and all of the scientists and PhDs in Joe and Helen's group. As we tested this early on, we wanted to find the right balance because, as you can imagine, when you're using this, on one side you might think, well, that was quick and easy, so in other words, it can't really be very effective. You probably don't, it's just you're giving me some number. On the other side, oh, that was a nice 25-minute long exercise that I finally just made it through, and now I got this customized formula. You don't want that either. So there's a balance to achieve the right level of information through the assessment to enable us to give you just the right formulations. And because actually of all the testing that we and our partners have done over the years, we know how people answer questions about their skin. We know what they know and what they don't know. And we also created some new approaches like this slider right here. So lines and wrinkles, obviously we could have created a questionnaire that says, describe your lines and wrinkles, and we give you a multiple choice, and you say, well, they're really ugly, or they're really deep, or they're not bad, or they're shaped like a smiley face, or whatever. So the idea here is you have wrinkles around your eyes, wrinkles around your mouth, and wrinkles on your forehead. So you just use the slider to tell us what your wrinkles look like, about how deep they are, about how, so it's just simple, it's intuitive. And as we started testing this, people were like, hey, this is kind of fun, It's like, great, we like fun. We're all about fun. So clearly this could have been a chore. We didn't want to make it a chore, and we didn't want to burden you with having to walk people through it. So that was the idea behind the design. Okay, so where does ageLOC Me fit in my regimen? So we decided early on not to put a cleanser into ageLOC Me because it would have doubled in size. And we wanted to keep this as small as possible. So in addition to that, many people cleanse in the shower, and so they're apart from the device, and that wouldn't have worked very well for many people. So anyway, you cleanse first, and then you go to the device and you get your serum. Okay. After that, if you have any other targeted treatments you want to add in there, like TFEU, for example, we talked about, you put those on, line corrector, things like that, and then when you're done, you put your moisturizer on last, and the device will just simply wait for you. So you use the serum, and then it will cycle through. It'll tell you how many doses are left, and then it'll prompt you to, when you're ready, get your moisturizer. So if, some people like to wait and let things dry down a little bit, walk around, whatever, put your shoes on, and then you go back and the device is blinking. It's telling you, hey, your moisturizer's ready. So then you just use your moisturizer. Now, when you first start the device up, it's in semi-automatic mode so that you don't accidentally dispense product, but then you can turn that off if you like in settings, and then it's just automatic. You just walk up to it. You don't touch it at all. Okay. So I'll run through this quickly. The experience of using ageLOC Me. So you buy the starter kit, which contains the device and your first set of cartridges, which we call a reference set or a calibration set. These are full-strength formulas. Okay, there's nothing different about the formulas in the calibration set or the reference set. It's actually semi-customized to your region. So based on most, it's an average definitely, and then you customize from there. And the advantage of doing that is you don't have to worry about anything besides understanding and using the device in the beginning. These formulas are great. They're a very good middle point, starting point. So picture a graphic equalizer in the middle line, and then you can go up or down from there. All right? So that's the idea behind the calibration set. And then after you've used the products for a couple weeks, the assessment app is designed to ask you questions that are relative. So you can picture if we didn't have a calibration set and you get the assessment and it says, do you want a rich moisturizer? Well, what does rich mean to you? Nu Skin, what does Nu Skin think of when they think of rich? I don't know. So this way, it's a reference set. It's relative to something that you've experienced. You also experience the fragrance, so you know if you like fragrance, you prefer it or you don't. So it allows you to better customize, more effectively customize from a starting point, okay? So you start using your products, you set up the device, sorry, the other way around, you set up the device, start using your products for a couple weeks. Then after that, you go to the customization, you download the app, you complete your skin assessment, and you order your customized set of products. All right, you order it right from the app. The app will actually remember your code, and because seasons change or lifestyles change or situations change, you can go back and redo the assessment as many times as you want and save profiles of regimens that you've created. So I could have Kevin's spring regimen and Kevin's fall regimen if I wanted to, or Kevin's Super Bowl regimen, doesn't matter. So you can customize and then change back and forth, and it will remember that. So it's very efficient. Just order right from the app. Okay, so once your calibration set is all used up in 30 days, then you replace that set with your new customized set that will have arrived by then, and then you get this deeper level of customization. What we found is actually some people really liked that reference set out of the gate, and they were basically happy with that. Other people really like to experiment and try different things, and they didn't stop at month 2. Month 3, they're like, well, I want to try this, or I want to try that, and so it was fun. It's fun. You can continue to customize, get to know all the formulations that are available and possible. So this is far and away, actually, the most consumer research product in Nu Skin's history. So all told, at least, I mean, that number is probably conservative, 4,000 participants. But there were 10 rounds of global research over 4 years. So all the way from the very early concept, when we just had a written concept on a piece of paper before there was a design, we tested that, and then we tested designs, and then we eventually got prototypes, and we tested those, and we started to be able to send them home with people, and they tested the whole cycle all the way from the device using the reference set and then getting the customized set, and so we just tested the heck out of this thing. And this was all over the world, not just in one location. Lots of different people. So this is an example of, we talk a lot about the research, the scientific research that Nu Skin does, but to have a successful product, you have to have an equal amount of marketing expertise as well. So the type of marketing research that we do is just as important as the scientific research. To enable the story to be powerful and the positioning to be just right and all of those things that create that consumer experience. And the reason why we're so confident about this product is with all this research, it just kept confirming our hypothesis. Just kept confirming that this was different, this was radical, this was new. People continually said, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. And those were in the early sessions. As we started to get into the home user trials, we actually ran into a little bit of a problem because people didn't want to give it back. And it was not easy getting it back. So, and people wanted to buy it, and that's, once again I said, our confidence kept rising because we continually had these ongoing confirmations that we were on target, that we were on target, that we were on target. So that's why we were so excited. And you can see a lot of the main insights that came out of this research. So it simplifies and redefines the experience. It's simple to understand, fun to demonstrate. They wanted to tell their friends. Habit forming. These consumers got this idea that, this is going to help me use my products more regularly, for sure. And it did. They said, I never use products this consistently, but it's just so easy. It's just there. It's blinking at me. I walk up to it, and in 10 seconds, I'm done. And so that's the business insight for you all, right? Because it's great to sell people a product. It's far greater to sell people a product, have them use it up, and then order it again. That's one of the main drivers behind the concept and the idea of ageLOC Me, is this idea of recurring purchase that's so easy with ageLOC Me. We love Galvanic Spa, and it's done amazing things for our business all over the world. Facial spa in the US. Sorry, Greg. But one of the things that's always baffled us is the reorder rate on galvanic spa gels is actually quite low, which is stunning because if someone pays $250, $300 for this very advanced anti-aging device and then they don't refill the gels, we could never figure that out. And unfortunately, it's true. It might be something to do with the fact that you only use it a couple times a week, and that's maybe not enough of a habit. But this is sitting out on your vanity, and it talks to you every day. And you continually use it, and you get that experience, and you smell that fragrance, and you use the products, and you look great, and people tell you that you look great, and you're like, yeah, this is not bad. So the other thing, that last point is actually really important. So we test this thing, we get these responses, and we get these insights. People tell us how appealing it is. And then we actually, some of these tests would last 2 to 3 months. And the data actually showed that the appeal of the concept and the product got stronger the longer they used it. Okay, which is a powerful business concept for you all. The appeal got stronger the longer they used it. So their ability to get addicted to the product and create that ritual and just love the product was very powerful. Okay, so these are some wicked high numbers. In market research terms, if you have appeal numbers in the top 2 box above 50 or 60%, that's generally considered very strong. Okay, we're talking numbers in the 90s here. And it just goes to show how different and unique this is. This changes the way people think about skincare. And it really starts to become a lifestyle product. It's less about skincare. Well, it's both. It's obviously about skincare and the way I look, but it's also about my lifestyle. The way I use technology and integrate technology that makes my life simpler, easier, better, more customized to me. All those things, it starts to come together in this really integrated, holistic experience. So this is a short list. I should update this slide and get a ton of the comments that I've received from leaders over time, but the idea of bespoke, it's customized, the idea that you've got the product repeat that's built into the device, changes the business opportunity because of those aspects, and it's fun, it's exciting, it's new. How often do you get to go next door to your neighbor and say, I've got something you've never seen before, and you know that they've never seen it, right? So we have that with ageLOC Me. They won't believe it when you show them. And the press has had a hard time believing it too. They're blown away. This will continue to grow. Because of the launch in the US was a little bit later than other markets, a lot of these are from Europe and Asia. And as now we begin to get the PR machine really revved up in the US, we'll start to see more here. But it's exciting. It was on the equivalent of the Today Show or Good Morning America in Paris. And that was a great clip, but lots of good things happening. In addition to that, awards for the design itself. And these are some good ones. That Good Design Award out of Chicago is very prestigious, as well as some of these others. The Techies is from the UK, and this list will continue to grow, I promise you. So going back to the idea, remember how the idea was born. This is not just an idea, but it's a strategy founded on global consumer trends that are like these waves pushing this idea forward. Okay, we're surfing on these massive trend waves that are global and comprehensive. So many people. Smart technologies, obvious. Customization, obvious. Anti-aging, powerful and obvious to everyone in this room. And convenience. And then we don't want to use skincare like our grandmas or like Cleopatra used skincare. We want to use skincare like we should be using it in the 21st century. So welcome to the world of ageLOC Me. And your world's about to change. So as this begins to roll out in the US and in other markets where you have organizations, you'll begin to feel the power of this idea that not only energizes people, gets people excited about the possibility of using something that's just for them. It's just for them, but it's the experience and then obviously the business aspects that we've talked about that are positioned in a way to make your businesses stronger than ever before. So thank you for the opportunity to come and share a little bit deeper dive into ageLOC Me. Go have fun with it and enjoy your weekend. Thanks for inviting me.
Can we say wow together? Wow! Was that an amazing presentation? Are you guys ready to have your businesses transformed with ageLOC Me? The amount of work that has gone into that product is incredible, and it will change our business. And we will be rolling that out throughout our Americas region markets through the end of this year and into next year. So we've heard about the science and how it was put together. We've found a few people in this room that have been using this product for a month or two. So let us invite to the stage Rick Jiha, Blue Diamond from Northern California, and Clara Chong, Blue Diamond from Southern California. Let's talk to Clara first.
Okay.
How you doing today?
I'm great.
Good.
How are you, everybody?
Isn't she beautiful?
Thanks.
She's truly a product of the product. Clara, tell us a little bit about your experience with the ageLOC Me device and what it's done for you.
Okay, I've been using ageLOC Me for about 2.5 months so far. And before, I used the Transformation, Tri-Phase White Toner, Serum, and Line Corrector, Tri-Phase Ultra, just name it. It took about 20 minutes to put everything on. And then after I got ageLOC Me, I stopped everything. I just wanted to experience the product itself. So I stopped everything, and I only used NAPCA moisture mist, and then serum, and then lotion, and then during the daytime, just sunblock. That's it. So I used it for about a month. But after 2 days, I just started noticing a difference. And third day, when I wake up in the morning, when I look at myself, it's glowing. Seems like pores like going away, and the texture is amazing, illuminating. And then about a couple of weeks later, my friends and family just started noticing the difference. They just kept saying, "What have you done? You look so different. You look like younger and younger." Then it's amazing. And then I got some pictures from Korea because ageLOC Me got launched this year. Then people started using it from last year. And then I got some pictures. Before and after pictures are always, already amazing. But one lady used ageLOC Me with her right-handed fingers. And then 1 month later, she compared left hand and then the right hand. Totally, the fingers, fingerprints and wrinkles, totally different. That picture is amazing. So I never used this kind of product in my life ever because I got so much, just faster results in just few days. So I think this is amazing product ever from Nu Skin and from all over the country. This is amazing product.
Awesome, thanks, Clara. So kind of all of the best and then some, right? Thanks.
Can I have your help? You hold mine. So thank you, Greg, for having me up here.
Not quite as beautiful as
No, definitely
Clara.
not anywhere near as beautiful.
But we all know Casey.
Her skin is amazing. So
yeah, we all know Casey Council, Rick's better half, is a little prettier than him. But tell us about your experience with ageLOC Me.
Yeah, I married up. So Casey got hers. We have a team in Sweden and Spain. So Casey got hers right when it launched back in September, and I started to get envious. So I think I've shared with most of you in mine and Casey's relationship, I'm kind of the girl in the relationship. So I didn't, she's a lot younger than me, and I wanted to really start using the product. And she said, no, you got to get your own. You travel a lot separately from me, and I can't have you taking mine with you. So this one actually has my name on the bottom. And I just got back. I came here from Los Angeles, and I've started using it about 2 weeks ago. So first thing, I noticed differences, but you hold the mic for me. So Casey saw me putting it on one day, and she said, yeah, there's more coming. So first thing, when you see the pictures, you know, you can see the hand coming through the end. So I was doing it like the picture, and Casey's a clinical esthetician. She goes, "Stop! You're doing it all wrong. It's never going to work." So apparently, you're supposed to only put it in so it comes out on your fingertips, because anywhere else on your hands, it absorbs into your hands and doesn't get on your face. Who knew? Right? So then she said, when you put it on, so she saw me putting it on, and she goes, "Are you beating up your face?" So I was putting it on, and she goes, "Gentle, Rick." And then I just took it and I went like this. And she goes, "No!" So I had to learn to do this. Now I'm doing this when I put it on. So I had to go down to LA. I've been using it a couple weeks. I was in LA, and I met up with one of I'm in the coaching business, in my real estate business. And the guy looks at me and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, I had no idea what he was talking about. He said, "You look younger every time I see you." Now, I'd only started using this a couple weeks, and what I have done just for the before and after, we took a before, and I'm not using anything. I'm not using my True Face Essence. I'm kind of a manly man, so I use the 180 face wash, because I feel like that suds out of Gentle Cleanse and Tone doesn't do anything for me. So I use my face wash, and I've been using this. I'm not using anything else because I want to do the before and after and prove that this thing is amazing just by itself, and it's already working incredible. I'm just excited as heck. People think
Awesome.
I'm kind of a girl, so.
Do you hear some excitement here, right? Hey, let's get Rick's clothes back on here. And hey, thanks guys for sharing your experience. Appreciate that. Let's give him a hand. You getting the sense that we have a lot of confidence in the products that we use? We've been putting a lot of time into it, and there couldn't be more credible products. We're going to continue our session here and hear from our world-famous, world-traveled ethnobotanist, Nu Skin's best friend, Dr. Paul Cox.
Wow. Wow, it's so great to be with you. I got to tell you, last Thursday was such a special day to me in Nu Skin history. You may not realize that, but that was the first time, as far as I'm aware, that we showed you the new signature oils. It's the first day I got to see them in production. So I put that second only to the Los Angeles release of ageLOC, where the distributor force lapsed into cannibalism to get the product. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Epic just for a few minutes. What I'd really love to do is just take you into my Land Cruiser, which is outside. I'd love to fit you in there. 4.5, 5 hours, we'd be up in Jackson Hole. We'd get my canoe. We'd start looking at the ice floating on Lee Lake. I'd tell you the stories. So you're just going to have to come up and see me. And you have an open invitation to see me anytime, any place. And I want to tell you this. If I had a sandwich, I'd give you half of it, okay? And I will. And some of you know, you've shown up my doorstep in my laboratory, and you get there's half a candy bar. Okay, thank you. So, Epic, my story. Who's that good-looking man there? This is my little family. I was so lucky. I've just had such a lucky life. After I got my PhD from Harvard, President Reagan gave me an award I could use for anything I wanted to do. Think of that. Through the National Science Foundation. So I thought, well, why don't I do something that could not be funded through traditional means? So I got out a map with Barbara, who's seated next to me there. We found the largest rainforest in the South Pacific Islands with the least development, took our children, just our suitcases, with their school books for 1 year. We lived in this little hut, this is our home, for a year without running water or electricity. We had so much fun when we first got there. Barbara and I are walking on that white sandy beach. I said, "Barbara, wouldn't you like to just live your life here?" She said, 1 year, Paul, 12 months. But when we got ready to leave, she said, "Oh, do we have to go back, Paul? This is heaven." The reason it was heaven is that these people don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of relationships. And I just want to say something about you today, because yesterday was Earth Day, of course. Hooray, hooray for the Earth. We have a lot of relationships, and this is a company about relationships. I'm just so happy to be with you. There's so many good friends here. I mean, I never thought I'd be able to make friends with amazing business people like you. I'm just a scientist, you know. I'm sort of the geek guy you see in the back of the movie screen, you know. But anyway, the relationships are great. Here's our children. This is Emily. She is now a professor at the University of Washington in business. This young man here, Paul Matthew, now works for a bank. I don't want to tell you the name, Morgan Stanley. And all these kids come up and say, Dad, you know, we love you, but we don't want to be botanists. We want to be business people. I'm like, hallelujah, you know, hooray. Mary here is a lecturer at Oxford, and little Hillary here is a house wife and amazing mother for some of our grandchildren. So that's the little family. But what was great, I got to tell you, we lived with this healer, Pela, and every morning, the little grandchildren from Pela was in her 90s, they'd come over, before they go to school, they'd stand there very politely, and Pela would rub this oil on their face and on their hands, on their skin. And, you know, I was really trying to find the cure for cancer. You know, I was really pumping Pela all the time for information. But she'd say, oh, sorry, I have to work on the oil. Sorry, I'd have to work on the oil. She's always out collecting the coconut to make the oil with. She's collecting the ylang-ylang to put in there. She's collecting the jasmine at nighttime. And it was like she was expressing her love to these people. And so that's why Thursday was such a great day for me. And my hat's off to Jared Warburton, the entire team here, pushing these signature oils through. Because what Pela was putting on her children is pretty close to what we put in this bottle called Navi Navi. So more about that in a moment. But anyway, this is EPIC, which is based on ethnobotany. People say, how is our stuff different from everybody else's? I said, well, we don't put bananas in our hair. You can go to a little shop down the street that sells body products and get banana hair balm. The healers tell me that if you put bananas in your hair, monkeys will bite your head. And in fact, I've done extensive research on this. There's not one single indigenous culture I can find anywhere in the world where people wake up in the morning and put bananas in their hair, okay? So we use plants, but we use plants in EPIC based on hundreds and sometimes thousands of years of knowledge of indigenous people. It's based on the knowledge that they use. And I've had this great privilege to be spending, I bet I've spent 30% of my life living in little villages around the world. I work particularly in the South Pacific and Southeast Asia islands. I was trained in Central America. I've worked in the Amazon, worked all over. And this is where we get the EPIC products from. So here's one that's really fun. Has anybody tried this one, Baobab Body Butter? Now look, just because you're here and just because it's such, I'm just so happy to be with you. I really can't think of anywhere I'd rather be right now than with you. It's just great to be with you. Does anybody have a jar of Baobab Body Butter? Oh, this is not a plant. No, come on up. Here we go. Thank you. Now, I will give this, well, actually I won't give it. Thank you. When you get your Baobab, we have so much fun making these products. You have no idea. I mean, we have a lot of fun here, you know. I mean, and look at the toys we have up in that laboratory. Wow, you know, it's pretty cool. So we do little fun, crazy things. You want to hear a little secret about Baobab? Okay. You know, the company, I was so impressed with what Nu Skin's been doing for Malawi. I mean, how audacious. You know, a beauty company changing the trajectory of an entire African nation. You know, I really love this. And man, if I were you, I'd get yourself down to Malawi, see what's going down there. It's really amazing. This Matala Manji school where they're teaching people how to do agriculture, the orphans work, they feed, nourish the children. So I said, could I make a product that was based solely on plants bought from Africa? My vision was African villagers collecting these plants, and I'd make a product. They said, well, give it a try. So this is it, Baobab Body Butter. It has the baobab pulp in there. It has a lot of shea butter. It has a little plant, Centella asiatica, the Africans use to heal wounds. And the baobab tree, the pulp from the fruit, the women, just like I saw in Samoa, the women rub this on their children in the morning. It's really cool. And then I said to the company, and would it be possible that we could set it up so every time a jar is sold, a tree is planted? And, I'm just a botanist, so, one jar, one tree. They said, sure, yeah, isn't that great? So every time a jar of this stuff's sold, one tree is planted in Africa. I mean, we got a forest growing down there. Fruit trees, forest trees, it's really cool. And so in this, if you look at the bottle, there's a baobab tree there. Probably can't see that. Well, anyway, take my word for it. You buy the jar, how about that, and plant a tree. There's a little heart in there, which is our little secret we made because it comes from the heart of Africa, and we're giving back to the Africans, and it's our way of secretly saying as product designers, we are so grateful to work with Nu Skin, a company that has a heart. So here, want to take this back now? There we go, thank you. So all of the Epic products are based on ethnobotany. And this really is true in these products, which are really fun. I can hardly keep them around my laboratory for my scientists. Can't keep them at home for my daughter and wife because they just want to use all of them. Ice Dancer, Firewalker, Soul Solution. Anybody tried this? Now, here's one thing I want to say to you, because I saw Scott Swart earlier in the audience. I don't know where Scott is, but he was here. He's such a good-looking guy, But I really think Scott is violating what it says, because it says on Soul Solution, rub on foot, because it makes your foot look pretty. I think Scott's rubbing it on his head. Or maybe that's the new ageLOC me. That's probably the answer. But what's interesting about Ice Dancer, and this gets us into essential oils very quickly, is the fragrance in Ice Dancer is all from this mint that Native Americans rub on their legs, and then they run 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers. You are smelling the power of that pure plant fragrance, which comes from this wild mint, and they rub it on their legs. And I think it is not just the power of the plants in Ice Dancer, but the fragrance really invigorates me. We use it for skiing. We ski a lot in our family. After a day of skiing, rub that on your legs and you feel great. You would be amazed at how many gold medalists in the Winter Olympics are wearing this stuff. They just don't happen to endorse our company, but it's their secret weapon, particularly for women's freestyle. And I've said enough there. The other fragrance thing I want to talk about is Ava Puhimoni. Everybody say that, please. Oh, I love that. And the reason I want you to learn how to say it is if you ever find yourself in Tahiti, or in Tonga, or in Hawaii, or in Samoa, you say those words, and you're going to be taken to this plant. And it's so fun. You squeeze the bulbs, and you get this sweet fragrance coming out from Ava Puhimoni. Say it. Ava Puhimoni. That's cool. Yeah, there we go. I like this. Yeah, it's cool. In fact, I used that this morning in my hair, and every time I use it, when I smell the fragrance, which is natural, this is all natural fragrance, I'm taken back emotionally to the waterfall where the women show you how to squeeze the bulbs and put it in your hair, and then you jump in. And no matter where I am, whether I'm in Stuttgart or Marbella, France, or Tooele, Utah, I put that stuff in there, whoosh, I'm just sort of emotionally transported back. So we've been using fragrance in some interesting ways because the Polynesians taught me that fragrance triggers emotion. Fragrance triggers emotion. And here's our Ava Puhimoni product. Say it one more time. Ava Puhimoni. Yeah, I like that. Thanks, Ava Puhimoni. So this is a company that understands the power of plants. We don't have people put bananas in their hair, folks, because we've got thousands of years of experience from indigenous people, knowledge from around the world. We've got this incredible innovation center. This is the most science-driven company I know. The scientists Joe Chang is so smart. I'm amazed he has any hair on his head. His brain's so big, he's probably pushed all the hair out, Everybody around here, the scientists are top notch, and I really enjoy working with them. Somebody says, what's the difference in Nu Skin? I say, well, we got more scientists than, you got jars of goop, and it's true. Nu Skin understands the power of plants. This is from Provence, where I've been studying lavender. And so we've distilled some of this knowledge in these essential oils, Nu Skin essential oils. Anybody tried any of these? Okay, good. This has been a really fun project for me because what people say, what's the difference? The answer is we're basing these on ethnobotany. Because when I was first in the islands, the people told me that fragrance triggers emotion. Now we've got to figure out some way to have a loudspeaker to blast fragrance out. Sort of imagine what emotions these images make you feel. Boom. Oh, Spice Islands. This place is where Magellan came down to find the spices. I've been there. It's a hard place to get to. You got to fly in Jakarta, then Sulawesi, catch a boat to Ambon, then get a boat down to Banda. This place is neat. And when you come into this place, it smells like cloves. And here's the family transportation. People are eating cloves and nutmeg and everything they do. They collect it. I mean, as you approach the island, you smell these cloves. So I've been down there studying with the people. Here's the fort that the Dutch set up in the 1700s to try to protect their trade monopoly, That sort of looks like an early prototype of ageLOC Me, if you think about it. Yeah, those are like that. Yeah, there's our legal staff, those cannons. Cloves. They're so cool. What a lot of people don't know is that they're used medicinally by the local people, In the old days, I'm old enough to remember this, that people would use it for toothache. Yeah, exactly. But it does other things too. So we've taken the knowledge from ethnobotany, combined it with 6S scientific system. That's a powerful marriage to produce the essential oils. And this was what was so fun for me Thursday, and to be with you today, is to launch these new signature oils. And what a sweet thing the company did, because they said, Paul, why don't you come see what you can come up with? So I went back to my notebooks, based over 30 years. Imagine, I started working when I was 2 years old. 30 years of ethnobotanical studies to come up with these signature oils. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Hopefully you've seen some of them. This one is called Nave Nave. And here's something I want you to remember. That painting right here by Paul Gauguin from Tahiti, look what he calls it. Nave Nave Mahana. Nave Nave means delicious or desirable. And there's a little story I want to tell you about Nave Nave. And it has to do with this plant in there. This is Ylang Ylang. This is what Pela Lilo puts in her little oil. It's what the Tahitians showed me they use. This releases its fragrance only at nighttime. It's on these big trees. They have these big branches. And the people go out with their woven coconut baskets. They have these long poles. They pull down the flowers in the dark. The best time to collect the Ylang Ylang is right about 3 or 4 in the morning, because that's when it has maximum power. And then they put it in coconut oil, okay? And then they add a few more things, and here's what we've done here. In this blend, I had so much fun with this. I worked months on this. Came up, we have Ylang Ylang, turmeric, which all of our friends from Southeast Asia know is the real secret of skin. Jasmine, which is this beautiful floral high note. Again, a plant that smells at nighttime, and that's why it's so fun to be in the islands. Walk along the beach at nighttime and smell that wafting of jasmine. Bergamot is sort of a base note, and fractionated coconut oil. And these plants are claimed by the Polynesians to increase feelings of attraction, romance, and commitment. In fact, in Sumatra, they put the petals on the mat in the hut where a newlywed couple is going to spend their wedding night. Isn't that sweet? So you want to hear a little secret? I made this for our anniversary and gave the first bottle to Barbara. Isn't that fun? Yeah, so love in a bottle. And we had so much fun with some of our great leaders here. We were experimenting with it, and I had a little video, but I think our legal staff wouldn't like that, where they smell it and start kissing everybody. It was just really, this was so fun. But try this stuff. Nave Nave. Everybody say that, Nave Nave. Yeah, and then look up the Gauguin painting so you can show this to people when you talk about it. Nave Nave. Next one is Akani, based on my ethnobotanical work in the Colorado Plateau, right here in Utah and Colorado and Arizona, with Native Americans that live in the desert. They have a very dry, windblown, sandy environment. And it turns out I'm one of the world's experts on Anasazi ethnobotany. That's because it's a dead culture. It's a great gig because nobody can walk in and say you're wrong, because there's no... But a lot of this comes from Navajos, and the word Akani, it means, everybody say Akani. Now look, I hope you forgive me for calling these things by the native names, okay? But, because I know you got to learn something, but it sort of resonates with me, okay? This is the name, and it means earth oil or candle. What we have in it is pretty exciting. Oops, let me go backwards. Can I go back? Yips, there we go. We have jojoba. Evening primrose, again, pumps out its fragrance at nighttime. You think the desert's dead and then these little flowers open up. The sphinx moss will fly maybe a kilometer or two to find these little flowers. Beautiful fragrance. Rose oil that the Navajos put in their moccasins when they have to go walking or hunting. Mullein. This is really fun. This is sort of a plant that looks like big flannel type leaves, and the Native Americans use it for diaper rash for their babies. Nu Skin uses it for our shaving cream. We don't make any claims for our products, you know that. We don't make any claims at all. But this plant, the Native Americans claim, can heal small cuts and abrasions. And we have juniper in there. And Akani was designed by moi to be a sort of a healing, a calming influence on skin that's troubled or has eruption, or it's just to impart a sense of well-being and healing, okay? Akani. And the last one, and I know I've got to yield some time here and get off pretty quick. This one's really fun, called Casbah. Now there's this great line, and I think it's in a Humphrey Bogart film. One of you are going to find this for me. It's in this movie, and it's like, the ultimate pickup line, come with me to the Casbah. You've heard this, haven't you? Well, I've been working the last 6 years in Oman and in Dubai and in Qatar and in Northern Africa doing ethnobotany. I've been treated so kindly by the villagers there, and I've been studying their ethnobotany. And what's so fantastic is that Casbah, of course, means fortress. You go to Morocco, go to Marrakesh, there's a Casbah there, which is the inner walled part of the city. It's a fortress. So think of Casbah as the wall, the fortress that you put up. And this is fun because we have grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, again, all from North Africa, turmeric. A few things you might recognize here, citronella and lemongrass. It was interesting because a lot of our Vietnamese distributors saying, I've smelled that before. And I said, yes, your mother probably made you soup out of lemongrass. You're smelling that lemongrass scent. Jasmine and myrrh. And we have to be very careful what claims we say about Casbah. The best thing is just to stick to the words that Nu Skin's approved. These are used plants that are used to protect skin during outdoor activities. Casbah, a fortress. Am I okay, Greg? I mean, there's lawyers here ready to grab Paul right off the stage, but okay. I said exactly the words. Okay, thank you. I have to be careful here. Plants used, everybody say, read this with me. Plants used to protect skin during activities. Anyway, this is Epic Essential Oils. And like everything else in Epic, when you sell an Epic product, 25 cents goes back to the Force for Good, the whole bunch of the money, all of it. Nu Skin covers all the administration, so there's no salaries, no hokum. 100% goes back. There's so many cool projects. Look up Nu Skin Force for Good. This one I've just got to tell you about. We built a bridge in Madagascar, a really remote part. People carried concrete bags on their back for 3 days to get the villagers to help us. The reason was we built a school with Force for Good funds, and then we found out that in the rainy season, the children had to swim a river to get to school. So he said, well, could we build you a bridge? And the people said, what's that? I said, well, we'll show you. So we built this bridge, and when the bridge was cut, the adults in the village started crawling across it because they'd never seen a bridge before. We said, no, you can walk right across. It's safe, you know. So every day in the morning, these children from Madagascar walk across this bridge built by you and the Force for Good, attend a school built by you and the Force for Good, and they have their lives approved by you and the Force for Good. And I sort of love this as a metaphor because I've always seen Epic as a bridge. I've always wanted Epic to be a way that you can welcome new people to our company as a bridge to help them understand what our company is about, then introduce them to some of the really cool, space-age technology that we've got. It's a bridge that allows us to give back to indigenous people. And the one thing I want you to do, particularly those of you who are new here, people, you're going to go home and your mom or your sister or your cousin or your friend next door is going to say, now, what's this company you work for in Provo, Utah? What is it you do? Here is your answer. Oh, I wake up each morning and I feed hungry children. I plant forests in Africa. I build schools for people that have no schools whatsoever. And I actually build a bridge in Madagascar to help little children. What do you do for a living? Okay. So, thank you. I'm going to be around here all day. I hope to get a chance to visit with all of you. You have a standing invitation to see me in Jackson Hole. You have a standing invitation to have half of my sandwich. And you have a standing invitation to see some of these products, but be careful who you share Navi with, because it's like feeding a stray dog. Those people will follow you forever. Thanks so much for being with me. Lovely to be with you.
Can we say wow together again for Paul? Wow! Isn't he a great asset that we have? He's a scientist, but did you feel the heart? Amazing. Okay, we want to hear from an Emerald executive from Canada. Tell us a little about her experience with Epic Essential Oils. Let me welcome to the stage Joy Castro Daniel. What's your experience been with the Epic Essential Oils?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Go Canada! I love Epic Essential Oils. When they were first announced that they were launching them, I turned to my husband and I said, I was a little nervous. What are oils anyway, and what are they used for? And so as I got to use them, now we use them every day in our home. And I love the oils because it's totally impacted my business for 3 reasons. 1, hashtag, I'm a mom of 3 kids. Hashtag, I'm not using hashtags properly. Hashtag safe ingredients, hashtag non-toxic home. And so moms, young people, they're totally about these oils. Second reason is that they're super easy to share. I think I shared them with like 10 people this morning.
Yeah, in the back of the room, we had a little house party going back there.
And it's just like any time anyone says that they have a stuffy nose, a sore head, sore muscles, whatever, I just say, you want to try something? It could be in the back of the grocery store lineup. It could be at parties. And I just take it out of my purse and it takes 2 seconds. So super easy to share. And then the third reason is that the price point is awesome on these. They're like $30 on average. And you can collect them. People like to collect them. People try one, and then they call you or text you and say, do you got any more? Do you got any more? And so I love Epic Essential Oils. And I wanted to ask Paul Cox, where are you? Can you ask Scott if I can have one set of your signature oils? Where's Scott? Yeah! So I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Joy. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're going to close out our session hearing a little bit about what's coming and some of those other products that maybe you had a chance to test out there in our product expo. So please help me welcome to the stage Director of Marketing for the Americas region, Jared Warburton.
Thanks, everyone. It's great to be here today. Have you enjoyed the session so far? So remember back when Joe was presenting and we showed that new ageLOC Youth video with Joe in it? What'd you think of that? I just wanted to let you know that that has been posted to YouTube today, so you can go and view it and share it with other people. Okay, we don't have too much time left, but I wanted to walk you through some very fun things that are coming later this year. So first off, you may have seen an email we sent out yesterday that talks about this ageLOC Youth broadcast tour. So ageLOC Youth is going to be featured on several different radio and TV stations on Monday. So if you live in any of these markets, make sure that you tune in to see ageLOC Youth featured on TV and radio. We're working on rights to get the videos from the TV spots that we can share later on so that you'll have those to view and share with others. All right. Next, ageLOC Me, we heard all about it from Joe and Kevin. Super exciting. And when Kevin was talking, he talked about the ageLOC Me assessment app, right? And I'm happy to announce that as of today, that app is available for download in the App Store on Apple or in Google Play. One thing to keep in mind, products are not available yet. We have not launched ageLOC Me yet. But we wanted to make sure that you got the assessment in your hands as soon as possible so that you could take it and become familiar with it so that you're prepared when we do launch. One thing, as Kevin mentioned, that you can do is you can save your assessment. So even though the product's not launched yet, you can take the assessment, have it saved, and it's ready to go for when we launch. All right. So I just kind of want to walk you through some next steps with ageLOC Me. So the next step is our Team Elite Leader Preview. It's going to be happening the end of May, early June, where all of our Team Elites will have a chance to purchase ageLOC Me units. We have the Team Elite trip coming up in just a couple of weeks, and our Team Elite leaders are going to get a chance to learn even more about ageLOC Me, and with that knowledge, they'll be able to bring that back to their teams and really get their teams going and strategizing for the upcoming launch. And then in August, our STARS preview. So anybody that's had a chance to qualify and put in all that hard work to attend the Orlando Success Trip is going to get a chance to purchase ageLOC Me in August. So we're very happy about that. Now, what I want to lead out with next are some new products that we've been working on. So we've got some new product initiatives that are coming out later this year. So first off, I want to ask a question. How many of you love TrueFace Essence Ultra? So also known as TFEU, also known as the Pearls, right? And how many of you have said, you know, I love these little pearls and I'd love to use them all over my body, you know, but it's so hard to open up those little pearls and use all over my body. Well, I've got some great solutions for you. I skipped ahead. I'm totally off. Let's, you know what? Before I get to that, I totally set it up, and then I've got something else to talk about beforehand, so apologize for that. First off, in the expo the other day, how many of you had a chance to try our new Pure Lift energy drink? What did you think of it? Delicious, right? So that is coming in September. That's when we'll be launching. So it features natural caffeine from green coffee bean extract. It also features maqui fruit, which is a little fruit that looks like a blueberry. It comes from Chile, and it's a super fruit. It's awesome. And we also have B vitamins and antioxidants. It's going to come in 2 amazing flavors, kiwi watermelon and raspberry, which are both delicious, as you found out. And the best thing about this product, 30 servings, ADR price is only $30. So that's $1 per serving. If you're comparing that with the cost of soda or a cup of coffee, this is a much better value and so much better for you. All right, so what I was setting up, the TFEU. So first off, this is ageLOC TrueFace Essence Duet. This is 2 powerful formulas in one. So this bottle here is actually divided into 2 different chambers. One has your traditional serum, the TFEU serum. The other one has a moisturizing formula with ageLOC ingredients. And so as you pump it out, you're getting these 2 products at the same time. This is specifically formulated for the neck and décolleté. So for all you men out there, they're like, what's a décolleté? That's your chest area. And so we know for years women have been using TFEU, not only on their face, but their neck, their chest, other areas, and this is specifically formulated for the neck and décolletage. All right, and it's coming in Q4. Now, that's not all. There's more. What about those other areas? The legs, the back of the thighs, other areas that I won't mention. We're also coming out with TFEU Body. So this features the same active ingredient of TFEU, ethicin, and it's formulated for use all over your body. So it's a great formula that spreads very well and moisturizes and lifts at the same time. That's also coming out in Q4. All right. So one more thing before I go, one other announcement. So a lot of you have said, we love the essential oils. Why don't you guys start putting these into products, right? So we're doing that. Coming for the holidays, the end of this year, we have 2 Epic Oils gift sets. So the first is with Epic Burst, and the second is with Epic Unwind. So you've got kind of an energizing formula and a relaxing formula. So it comes in a set. So there is a body lotion and a body wash as part of each of these sets. Very exciting things. We've got so many great things coming up this year, so many things to drive towards. We're grateful that you came here to the session today. We hope it was valuable and that you learned a lot. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Greg to close up. Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Was that great or what? Can we say wow again? Wow. Do we have enough tools in our quiver so that we can grow our businesses? Man, we have more than enough. We've spent enough time together, 2.5 hours. We are done. We have given you enough science to last the whole weekend. Okay, we have some food trucks out here if you want to grab some food. Also, we have our tent sale that is shortly closing up. Everything in there at those already low prices is even half off of that. So get out there, finish off your sales there, and we'll see you back in the Marriott Hotel at 2 p.m.